Hello everybody, this is Zyno here and welcome to a quick video on where to find all the weapons in the forest. Now some of these weapons are in caves, so I'll leave a link to the forest map in the description below so you can find their exact locations. Now the plain axe can be found at the beginning of the game, impaled in the body of a flight attendant. Simply press E on it or walk over it to pick it up. The rusty axe can be found in Cave 5 submerged. When you're in the cave, you'll need a torch as it's very dark in here. So light that up and continue heading straight. Eventually, you'll be greeted by a wooden barrier, which you'll need to break down using an axe. Once the axe is broken, continue on the path until you get to a room with some mining helmets, and then you'll find a climbing rope. Simply climb down the rope, and then climb down the second rope. Then continue on the only path possible. Once you get to the body of water, you'll need to pick up the rebreather and the oxygen tank and equip them. Then jump in the water. Once you're in the water, you need to just keep heading straight until you're eventually forced out. Once you're out of the water, you'll be greeted by a giant metal door and a pedestal. You'll need to place 3 objects on the pedestal. I used 3 rocks, and then the door will open. Once you're in this room, you'll find some skeletons and some tents. Head towards the furthest away tent, and you'll find the rusty axe leaning up against the wall. The modern axe can be found in Cave 7, also known as Chasm Cave. Bring a torch as it's very dark in here. You know you're in the right cave as there will be a ton of passengers at the very start. Continue along this path until you get to the rope and climb down. Once you're down here, continue on the only path possible until you reach a wooden barrier. Destroy this barrier and the one behind it, and then you're presented with 2 paths, left or right. You need to head along the leftmost path. When you get to the point where you see a climbing rope, stop and climb down it. Then look to your left and you'll find the modern axe sticking out of some rocks. The tennis racket is next, so starting from the modern axe, you want to head to the leftmost cavern. Please note you will need a climbing axe for this. So head along this little tunnel until you eventually reach a climbing wall. Once you are here, you need to whip out your climbing axe and attach it to the wall. Move across maybe 2 or 3 times and then proceed to move down. Once you can't go down any further, let go of the wall and look to your left and you'll find another climbing wall. Do the same as you did before, move a few times to the left and then continue all the way down. Once you reach the bottom, turn around and continue on with your journey. When you reach an area filled with tennis players, you're in the right area, simply look on the rock and you'll find the tennis rackets. The climbing axe can be found in Cave 9 climbing entrance. Simply go down the rope and then at the bottom you're greeted with a one-way path. Shortly into your journey in this cave, you'll be greeted with a giant drop. What you need to do is wedge yourself into the rightmost corner and carefully ease yourself down to avoid fall damage. Once you're at the bottom, continue along the single pathway until you reach a second drop. Once you're at the second drop, you need to go into the leftmost corner this time and repeat as you did before. Don't worry if you start to slide down there, as you will not take full damage. and the climbing axe will be found wedged into the wall for you to pick up. The weak spear can be found in nearly every pond in the forest. They usually just stick out of the water and sometimes can be just under the water. The upgraded spear can be found in any cannibal camp. The most common way to get it is simply the camp north of the sinkhole. You'll find it in the second tent, just leaning up against the wall. The katana can be found in cave 1. Bring a torch as it's very dark in here. Shortly into the cave, you'll be greeted by a wooden barrier. Simply destroy it using an axe, and then continue on with your journey. Eventually, you're going to get to a room which offers you 2 paths. Just continue going forwards and ignore the left path. You know you're on the right way, as you'll find some wooden ramps, and all you simply do is follow the wooden ramps all the way around. Eventually the pathway will lead to a giant opening, where you'll find some campers and a campfire. Go near the body near the campfire and you'll find the katana sticking inside him. The flare gun can be found in the cockpit of the plane. Simply approach the plane and look to your right and you'll find it sitting on a bench. The Cannibal Club can be found on almost any cannibals. Please note these have to be true cannibals and not mutant cannibals. The way you get it is by killing the cannibal and then just picking it off the dead body. Onto the crafted weapons. A club can be made with a stick and a skull. A stone axe can be made with a stick, a stone, and some rope. A crafted bow can be made with a cloth, some rope, and a stick. And arrows can be made from feathers and a stick. The upgraded stick can simply be made from a stick and some cloth. You can use this simply to light it on fire to light up dark caves. The crafted Molotov can be made from alcohol and some cloth. Do note that you will need to light it using your lighter before it will take any effect. The crafted bomb can be made from some computer chips, a watch, some coins, and some alcohol. And last but not least, the crafted upgraded rock. Now this is the most useless weapon made from a rock and a cloth. I have no idea why anyone would ever use this weapon. The only purpose I have found for it is simply lighting yourself on fire.